What's up guys, this is Chris for Hustle and Bustle, and today we're going to talk about tax deferrals or Section 1031 from the IRS code. Also, we're going to mention what Joe Biden wants to change about it and how that will impact the real estate market. That always made me feel super strong. Alright, if that's something that you would like to hear more about, stick till the end of the video. In the meantime, please support this channel with a like, subscribe, and consider commenting. Comment and consider subscribing. And let's go and see what that 1031 exchange is and how you benefit from it. So let me illustrate that with a poor attempt of drawing a picture here. In real estate, 1031 exchange is a swap of one investment property for another that allows capital gains taxes to be deferred. The terms which gets its name from is the Internal Revenue Service, or IRS, called Section 1031. IRS Section 1031 has many moving parts in it. An exchange can only be made with like-kind properties. There are also tax implications and time frames that you may be problematic. Still, if you're considering 1031 exchange or you're just curious, let's dig a little bit further and explain what that is. So what is 1031 exchange? This is an exchange, also called a like-kind exchange, is a swap of one investment property for another. Although most swaps are taxable as sales, if yours meets the requirements of 1031, you either have no tax or limited tax due at the time of the exchange. In effect, you can change the form of your investment without cashing out or recognizing that as capital gains. That allows your investment to continue grow tax deferred. There's no limit on how many times or how frequent you can do 1031 exchange. You can roll over the game from one piece of investment real estate to another, to another, to another. Although you may have a profit of each swap, you avoid tax until you sell for cash many years later. Or after you die, something else happens, but dying isn't really a tax strategy. Or is it? Then, if it works out as planned, you pay only one tax, and you pay tax at a long-term capital gains rate. Currently, as I've showed in my previous video, it's 0% from 0 to 40 grand. From 40 grand to 434,000, it's 15%, and over that amount is 20. It's a little more complicated than that, but here you go on the picture here that I'm going to show. You can see all of the variations for long-term capital gains tax. Most exchanges must merely be of like kind, and you hear me say that a lot of times because they really need to be like kind. It's very important. But what does like kind mean? Because it might not mean what you think it means. You can exchange an apartment building for raw land or a ranch for a strip mall. The rules are surprisingly liberal. You can even exchange one business for another. So the 1031 exchange was actually broader than what it is today. In 2017, there was a law that passed. You used to be able to 1031 exchange franchise licenses, aircraft and equipment, but now only real estate actually counts for that. And there's a couple of exceptions to that, but because here we talk about real estate primarily, we do not really care about those exceptions. What are delayed exchanges and timing rules? Classically, an exchange involves a simple swap of one property for another between two people. But the odds of you finding someone with the exact property you want who owns the exact property you have is slim. For that reason, the majority of exchanges are delayed. In a delayed exchange, you need a qualified intermediary or middleman who holds the cash after you quote-unquote sell your property and uses it to buy the new replacement property for you. This three-party exchange is treated as a swap. There are two key timing rules you must observe in a delayed exchange. There's a 45-day rule. The first relates to the designation of a replacement property. Once the sale of your property occurs, the middleman will receive the cash. You can retrieve the cash or it will spoil the 1031 treatment. Also, within 45 days of the sale of your property, you must designate the replacement property in writing to the middleman, specifying the property you want to acquire. The IRS says you can designate 3 properties so long as you eventually close on one of them. Then we got the 180-day rule. Thus, the second timing rule in delayed exchange relates to closing. You must close on new property within 180 days of the sale of the old one. It's just a little warning here, those two time rules run simultaneously, which means you start counting when the sale of your property closes. If you designate a replacement property exactly 45 days after that, you'll just have 135 days to close on it. And guys, if you like that video, it might be a little bit longer, but drop a like if the information is worth your time. And I really appreciate your time spending on this video. I hope it brings value to you, because this is something important that we do into the real estate industry. So let's look at the tax implications. You may have cash left over after the middleman acquires the replacement property. If so, the middleman will pay it to you at the end of the 180 days. That cash is known as a boot. That will be taxable as partial sales proceeds from the sale of your property, generally as a capital gain. One of the main ways people get into trouble with these transactions is failing to consider loans. You must consider mortgage loans or other debt on the property you relinquish, and any debt on the replacement property. If you don't receive cash back, but your liability goes down, that too will be treated as income to you, just like cash. Suppose you had a mortgage of $1 million on the old property, but the mortgage on a new property you receive in exchange is only $900,000. Now you have $100K of gain, or also called boot, that you will need to pay taxes on. So let's give a general example. That was actually the code. Let's give you a general example. Say I got a house for $500,000, and 10 years later I sell the house for $1.5 million. Now, if I don't do an exchange, I'm gonna owe taxes on the $1 million. If I do an exchange, however, I just get to buy another property for $1.5 million and tell the government, I'll catch you later. And I don't owe any taxes on those gains, because at the end of the day, there are no gains to be had. I just exchange the property. And that's pretty much it. Now what Joe Biden is trying to do, that bill hasn't passed yet, is to limit the 1031 exchange to $500,000 per occurrence. Joe Biden is asking for higher taxes on real estate transactions with gains of more than $500,000. Also, as far as I know, he's trying to up the capital gains tax. But let's not talk about my feelings about this. Let me tell you what actually it means. If I buy 100 for $250,000 or $250,000 today, I'm going with that with my previous example in the video that I made for ATMs versus real estate. Now in 10 years, this house will cost $500,000. So I essentially doubled my money. Now, if I do a 1031 exchange, I will literally not pay any taxes and just buy a new house for $500,000. However, if I buy a house for $1 million and in 10 years it's worth $2 million, instead of exchanging everything and not pay any taxes, do a 1031 exchange, buy a new one for $2 million and call it a day. Now I can only exchange $500,000 and I'm gonna owe capital gains tax on the other $500,000. So with that, Joe Biden is trying to get more tax money, but I think in the long run it will hurt us, the smaller investor. And why that is? I think bigger hedge funds and investors that shop into the realms of $20 to $100 million apartment complexes, they're just gonna stop doing that, because they cannot exchange a $20 million apartment complex for a $30, $40, $50 million apartment complex. They need to pay capital gains tax, and 20% or 15%, or if it's even more, 30%, whatever he wants to make it now, I don't know exactly, is a lot of money on 10, 20, $30 million. So what can they do instead? Can they buy a lot of $100,000 to $200,000 single family dwellings and then 10 years down the line sell them for double the price, do not trigger the $500,000 mark, and just exchange them like normally? Of course they can. So if they do that, the market will get even less houses available for the public to buy, which means, again, screw me, the small investor. How about the first time home buyer family? There's nothing to buy. There will be nothing you can buy. So this was in short what 1031 exchange is and how Joe Biden wants to change it. As you know, those things can be changed. There was a change in 2014, 2017, and there might be a change now. So all we can do is just adjust to the market and make the best decisions at the current state of the law. With all that said, guys, thank you very much for watching. Give the video a like, consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time.